Saving spiders. There we are. We're saving spiders.
Hello, welcome to the Classic Alfa YouTube channel. This is our new series, Saving Spiders. You join me here with Filippo and our two lovely cars in slightly different conditions behind us. And this is our series, Phil, where we've decided we've come across these two projects and we're gonna save some spiders.
Save some spiders. Even though this looks probably better on camera, but it's probably worse condition than that one, believe it or not. So.
Bodywork wise, 100%.
Yeah, that's
So we'll show you all guys all of that stuff. We'll show you what needs to be done for both cars, and today is a bit more of an introduction episode to say what we've done so far and what our next step is, basically.
And why we're doing it.
And why we're doing it, which is, Phil?
Which is, here at Classic Alfa, we've done restorations before.
We have.
But they're always been high-end restoration. Whereas this time, we're doing something a bit different. Something a bit...
Budget-friendly?
Budget-friendly.
Economically viable?
Economically viable.
There you go.
Anyone can actually...
So even a young guy in his 20s like me that's passionate about Alfa Romeos has a chance of being able to afford to get into the game, really.
Exactly.
So the
That's
plan...
how we started, wasn't it?
That's why we started, exactly.
It all started with a silver car, which we're going to show in a minute.
Yeah, and
then it went from there. The
that
idea
rusted away.
just kept on going.
Exactly, exactly. So the plan is, we've just had a couple of weeks ago our track day at Goodwood. For next year's track day at Goodwood, mid-June, you want to get these two cars
on the road.
On the road.
Not immaculate.
Not immaculate. No.
Just get them on the road.
Exactly.
That will be painted.
Comment the colour.
He's going to paint it. You're going to paint it right here.
So that's it. You're going to join us every single step of the way, whether it's from tinkering with engines, powder coating suspension, rebuilding brakes, doing your clutch like you've just done recently, to bodywork, to paint, to the lot. So if you're
homemade,
everything.
Not sending cars to be painted in the booths and fancy work.
Exactly.
It's all going to be done right here.
We're doing it ourselves at Classic Alfa.
Yeah.
And eventually, Phil, what we want to do with these two cars after we do...
Get to the track day.
Yeah.
And then we're going to drive to Milano. To the Alfa Romeo Museum.
Exciting.
And these two beauties.
Brilliant. It's going to be interesting. There's going to be a few...
There's going to be some welding.
There's going to be some welding. There's going to be a few scrapes and mishaps here and there, but that's what working on cars is all about, working on old cars is all about, and I hope you enjoy the series coming up. So quickly, before
we're going to go on to this car,
we're going to have a little chat. We'll give you guys a little tour of the car, tell you where we've got it, what kind of condition it was in when we first picked it up, and what kind of condition it's in now.
Yeah?
Okay. So we'll do that now.
So, the Black Spider, nicknamed Black Beauty.
I suppose he ought to have a name.
What is black? He's very beautiful.
This came to us through a customer of ours who was immigrating abroad and unfortunately had to use it for 10 years. It's not used for 10 years and also stored in quite a wet garage. So it didn't really help the bottom of the car, should we say. We were going to break it for parts, but then when it arrived and with Will, we decided to talk about this Saving Spider series. We decided to get it back on the road. So I'll be working on the black one.
Black Beauty.
Whereas Will would be working on the other car. When it came to us, it wasn't running. So I decided to start working on the fuel system, being an injection car.
Which is another difference between our cars, isn't it? Yours is a late injection.
Mine injection, 89 injection. His one's a 1983 carburetor car. So that's the other part, which makes it quite fun, I guess.
Yeah.
So I started with replacing the fuel sender, which I already replaced. So fuel sender being replaced with the pickup pump, and then we replaced the fuel pump under the car and all the hoses to the front. I then took all the fuel out, put fresh fuel in it.
Fresh fuel. Fuel we found.
Fuel. Disgusting.
Right.
And then replaced spark plugs, leads. Leads were chewed by, you can see a little bit of remnants there of little creatures. But luckily they didn't chew on anything else by the looks of things. And then she just make sure the filter was, there wasn't anything debris in there of any animals or chewed of.
A bit of clean oil in it.
bit of clean oil in it, and then we just gave it a go starting it. And after a few cranks, it did start.
Cut to the car starting and us driving around.
Like the late break show.
Oh my god.
So yeah, so it started, it was great, sounded great. So then the next step was trying to get it on the road, well, around the estate, to see if the gearbox and everything else, the drivetrain was okay. But we couldn't move it, of course, because the clutch master was completely seized, the slave was seized, all the hoses were completely knackered. So we had to replace, as you can see there, we replaced the clutch master cylinder with the slave, which we'll show in a minute once we get the car up on the lift. So now we're working on the brakes because they're seized. So. Hold on. No, ready, hold on. Still. Foot up. Up. Slowly go. Alright, leave it. Yeah, so I got all of that. I have you guys.
It's running. See if it moves. Whoa! It moves! Under its own steam. Do you have reverse? Oh, the light even works. The light works. There you go, now we're saving Spiders. 11 years. And now it's back, baby.
So we replaced the hoses, fuel filter, got the pump replaced, a little bit of bushes as well. As you can see underneath, she's got a little bit of corrosion. It's got corrosion, but the seals are knackered, so we wouldn't be working on them. But the rest of it seems to be just surface rust. A lot of surface rust, and yeah, hopefully we're not going to find any more major horrors, really.
That's what we're hoping for.
That's what we're hoping for.
But you know what these spiders can be like?
Yeah.
Things like that can quite quickly.
Yeah, as you can see, look, behind there seems
okay,
nice and solid.
Oh,
So
nice.
Hopefully, we should be okay.
Cool.
Just a simple outer seal.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Nice.
You didn't mention we're trying to keep everything low cost.
Okay.
So, you know, the world's that you can't own a classic car and not spend a fortune on it.
Yeah.
And, you know, we didn't spend a fortune buying these two cars. Probably going to spend a little bit getting back on the road, but we're not going to go crazy. You know, we're going to try and keep the cost as low as possible. But unfortunately, there is certain bits where I will be spending some money. The suspension's got some corrosion on it. We're probably going to need some new spring pans. But we've got a chap down the road who does powder coating. It's very cheap, so we're probably going to end up getting some parts powder coated.
Nice.
We'll see.
Hopefully make them last a little bit longer than they...
Make them last a little bit longer. Depends. It all depends. We set ourselves a budget. We haven't decided how much. We're trying to work within a budget.
And we'll share everything cost-wise.
And then we'll share everything right at the end.
Yeah.
At the end of the series. So
Cool. Wicked.
looking forward to it.
So, Phil, overall, what do you think of the Black Beauty then overall?
I love it.
Black Beauty.
Many don't like these Series 3 Spiders. Everybody go for a round tail, the early 1960s, the cam tail, 1970s. And then they seem to jump and then they go into the Series 4. But the Series 3s are getting there. They're starting to go up in value a little bit more. They're getting a little bit more love. And I quite like them. You know, it just shouts 1980s to me. And I always liked them, even though they're really, really cheap. And that's why I decided to try and get back another
Save this Spider.
Saving the Spider rather than scrapping the Spider.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've got two Series 3, as we said earlier. One right at the end of the S3 run with injection, and one right at the start with carbs. So moving on to this car, should we start talking about my car now?
Yes.
Okay, so it doesn't look like too much right now, guys, but this is my Series 3 Spider. I actually got this shell in particular because I was supposed to be building this Series 3 Spider.
Which is a,
Which is
what was now?
which is a series...
Series of spiders.
Yeah, series of spiders. So, as you can probably see down there, I'll cut to a better clip, but the sills, even the inner sills, were rotten, really. Started to cut out some of the outer sill away, and it's just rust. We're going to have a look at the other side. The rear was all right, to be honest with you, but again, the new one's cleaner. But as you can see, probably a bit better on this side. I've cut a bit more away. That inner sill isn't too bad, but it does need patches. But then you're at the point of, do you just do a whole new inner sill? I was talking about doing it, and if you remember, if any of you seen our Shelf to Shop series, our episode 5 was with Salvatore, who, after speaking to him after that episode, was kind enough to give me a very, 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 very good deal on this body shell here, which is completely original, pretty much. Original
Very much
sills,
so.
original floors. It's solid as anything, a lot more solid than this car, and it literally needs probably a little bit of the nose. And,
Had a little bit of a crunch there, unfortunately.
yeah, unfortunately, but it's okay. I'll show you what I've done. So I've cut the good nose off the other silver spider, and the idea would just be to patch it in there. So the nose and the filler flap are the bits I've got to do with the exterior, and I've only got one small bit of welding under this corner.
On.
There you go. Yeah, I think I've got clips of it already. And under this corner, unfortunately, as you can see by the pile I'm creating underneath it,
It's only just that though, isn't it?
it's only just that. And so this car, it's got a really, really interesting story. Salvatore, who I got this car off of, was convinced it was a factory right-hand drive Series 3, which they never ever did. And if you remember back to our episode with Peter Smart, and the employee Ian used to work at Bell and Colville. So he knows all of these cars, and he keeps a spreadsheet of what cars he worked on, essentially. And what he was explaining to me that he was the quality control for the right-hand drive Series 3 conversions. But as you can see here, in comparison to the clip that I'm going to overlay in a second, this is a lot neater job with a proper Series 2 right-hand drive steering box and no big messy bits of sealant to cover up the big holes, and no big messy
Well, the extended servo, don't they? Because they put the bars going across, like on the black car.
Exactly.
You probably spotted that earlier on.
Exactly. So this car, he was convinced was a factory right-hand drive, but obviously looking at little details such as the brackets being bolted in and not welded in, sort of.
There is a plate behind there, which there you go, just under the servo.
There you go.
A plate which covers the hole for the when it was a left-hand drive.
So basically, after speaking with Ian explained to us that back when they first started doing these right-hand drive conversions, they actually gave it. So they spent a lot of time and money and made it very neat and acceptable, like they did with the Series 2s at Alfa Romeo. But as the production line went on, and as they got more and more cars to convert, and as they had to do them quicker and quicker, they had to cut back on costs and cut back on time, and unfortunately start doing them like this. So that's the plan. You might be realising there's a big hole here, lifting something. I have pieces of an engine. Look, here you go, I'll be the engine.
How many horsepower?
At the moment, I'm half a horsepower, carrying a little injury. But the idea is, the engine of this, I've essentially taken the block, the head, rocker cover, I've got a gearbox from over there, and the idea is we're going to be piecing those together, maybe with a little bit of help from our friends, technically, so wait to see for that episode. And hopefully, by the time I finish with the bodywork and the paint, the engine's going to be back for me to lump in here, do the brakes and suspension, and off we go to Italy, right, Phil?
Hopefully.
The one big question I had on this car, which I want to ask you guys at home about, is what colour to paint it? I know we're a little bit of a way off yet. You've got a lot of time to think
Well,
about
this is, I'm trying to catch the original colouring in.
But yeah, it originally was a cream. Like, I don't know if I can clean it up at all. But it's fortunately what's been saving it is sat in this red primer. So the story of this car is a bit strange. There was Salvatore's painter and welder had this car, and it sat there for about 10 or 15 years, I think he said, when the person who was paying for this project, the person who owned this car, suddenly disappeared one day. So it sat with most of the bodywork completed in this red primer outside for over 10 years minimum. And somehow it's survived remarkably.
It's amazing.
It's unbelievable.
When we get it on the ramp, you will see.
So once we get this on the ramp, hopefully we'll be able to show you what good condition this car really is, because I understand at the moment it may look a little bit tatty and a little bit not together, but honestly with a close-up inspection it's remarkable.
It is, yeah, in comparison to the Black Beauty.
So that's the plan for me with this car. We're going to finish off the last little bits of welding we just showed you, whilst Phil's welding his seals up. And then I've got another rear axle that needs to go on this car. I've got different wheels that need to go on this car. I've got all sorts of other bits and pieces to do before painting.
Will's been gathering pieces of Spiders for a while because they were meant to have gone on this.
Welcome to my shelf.
And now we've given him a complete shelf, a Classic Alfa. God knows what it's costing us in storage fees. But yes, as you can see, he's got quite a few extra bits here.
Organised beautifully and neatly.
Organised beautifully. So he's got a choice. He's got a choice of parts he can use. So.
I do, and obviously we're Classic Alfa, so you go upstairs and we do pretty much, that's not a great view at the moment, we do pretty much every single part for these cars. We sell 6,500, we stock 6,500 different types of parts here, and fortunately they're mainly for 105 series cars, which of course this is. So anything at all we need, any issues we've got a whole warehouse full of the bits we need. So looking forward to having you join us and come along with us for this crazy journey about saving spiders, and hopefully it inspires you to maybe save a classic car of yourself one day.
Or saving a spider.
Or saving a spider.
An S3 Spider would be good.
Yeah, well, S3, help us pump the values up in them a little bit, and then yeah, it'll be good.
We can sell him by a Ferrari.
There you go. So that's my Series 3 Spider.
Become a drama, as per usual.